What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, April 8th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the verified one at Tim Geddes.
I got a promotion. I feel good about it.
I haven't seen Cool Greg in a long time. I can't verify his eyes
That's
anymore.
fair.
You know,
That's
I can't
fair.
verify
That's
how
fair.
good his eyes look. I saw him once, and that was it during this whole pandemic. Can't check on it. How are you this fine Thursday morning, Timothy?
I cannot explain to you how good I'm doing, Greg Miller.
Ooh.
I accomplished something last night that I never thought I would do. I never thought could be done. And that has made a huge step forward in my platinuming of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake.
Now you have my attention. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I thought this was going to be about you jogging or going to Starbucks. Yes, tell me more.
No. It is, I'm officially one trophy away from platinuming Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. It is an inevitability that this will happen now at some point.
What are you
here
working
on out?
still?
It's just grinding. It's just playing a lot. I'm at level 76, and I just got to get up to level 100. It's a bullshit-ass platinum. It's a dumbass trophy. They should have not had this at all. There's a shit ton of challenges in the game, and even if you do all the challenges, you still don't get to level 100. There's going to be a bunch of dumb shit I have to do to just kind of like grind and farm experience in a way that is not fun at all.
Sure, that's platinum. That's platinum chasing.
Exactly. And that's my thing is, Greg, I am not this platinum chaser. I only platinum the games that are like really speaking to me. And so far it's like 4 platinums. Sure. And all of them on the easy side.
Yeah, of course.
On the easy side. Yeah. This is my first one that I'm actually proud of where I'm like,
the one you're working on.
I did something. Greg Miller couldn't get this platinum. You get what I'm saying?
Come on now. Let's not get and
it's because of a couple specific trophies. But one that I got last night is without going too far down this rabbit hole of explaining all this, Greg, one of the trophies is to do all the hard get theirs. Every level, all 19 levels in the game, have a certain set of gaps and combos that they want you to do in one combo to be able to check that off. And they're all impossibly hard. They are all expert level. And some of them, there's about 3 of them that are just like, you're going to play this 100 times. It's going to take you hours. And then hopefully you'll just get lucky enough that you get it. And I've just been slowly banging them out over the last couple weeks. And I went from having none and being like, there's no way I can accomplish this. It's not going to happen. To then just, oh shit, one night I did 3 of them. One night I did 2. One night I did 0. One night I did 1, just kept going. I got to the final 3.
Chip damage.
And Greg, they were the hard ones. I lucked the fuck out. One of them took me 3 tries. Got it. One of them took me about 20, but I did it.
Got it.
My last one, first try. Bull ring. The hardest one.
Come on now.
The hardest
Come on
one.
now.
My first fucking try. I lucked the hell out. I can't believe it. But I'm feeling good, Greg. I'm feeling damn good.
I'm proud of you. I'm very honored to be part of this moment with you. I can't wait to see you do this. But here's the thing. Kevin, throw it back up. You got to unprivatize your trophies.
Never.
What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
Assholes out there will never see me. It is my private decisions to share what I want to share and not share what I don't want to share. I don't want you knowing the games I'm playing. I don't want you to know that I've been playing the Mean Girls game on DS. You should definitely go watch the Bob Duncan video on YouTube because it's awesome. Lost Girl game documentary.
Tim, there's nothing to hide. Don't worry. There's plenty of other reasons the assholes on the internet can come for you and me. Your trophies are the least of your concerns.
Y'all don't know.
Here's what I want.
Greg. You don't know my secrets.
Huh?
You don't know my secrets.
I know, but that's the thing is, at least I want to know your secrets. So why don't you?
Maybe I didn't get theirs in Tony Hawk. Maybe I'm making up this whole story.
I know, and that's the thing. We can't verify, and that's the thing. I want to be in your corner. I want to be behind you, but you could be trying to pull a wicked little game here, like Blessing Adeoye Jr. was when he was hiding his trophies for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's time for you to do what Blessing did. What was what?
Trying to play. What was the game that he was trying to play with us?
Wicked
or Blessing?
Bless.
Wicked games. Yeah, he's playing Wicked games with us.
Yeah, but like, what do
Wicked
mean?
games.
Like, was he hiding anything?
You know what? I'm not here. I'm not on trial this time, Kevin. All right, we're talking about Tim right now. We're trying to get Tim to do the right thing, turn on his PlayStation 5 during this very episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. Unprivatize your trophies.
It ain't gonna happen.
What are you hiding?
It ain't gonna happen.
What are you hiding?
It'll never happen.
I do not like the fidget spinner.
I don't either.
I do not like that. That's how he's ending conversations now. But enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about if Kojima and Xbox are about to partner up. What about these free legendaries you're going to be getting in Outriders? And are you ever going to play Deathloop? We'll tackle all these questions and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show at patreon.com/kindafunnygames. On patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can ask us questions. You can write in with your squad up request. You can get the show ad-free. You can get the show with the post show we do each and every weekday, all on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, and a bunch of other benefits and things you can get in shows exclusive. You know how it is. However, if you got no bucks tossed our way, it's no big deal. You can watch us record the show live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, just like Sean Matches's Foodie and Fit and Still Chewy R. Of course, if you're watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, consider subscribing to the channel. At least follow it, click the bell and all that jazz. And of course, keep us honest. If you hear us say something wrong, you can go to You can go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe each and every weekday. Where's my Thor hammer? Oh, there it is. Any bigger would have bit me, but I hit it with the Back to the Future car instead. Housekeeping for you. The greatest episode of the Kinda Funny podcast is now live. You can come listen to Kangaroo Jack's Jerry O'Connell scream at us from a public park, all at youtube.com/kindafunny. Podcast services around the globe. Have you recovered from the highest energy podcast we've ever had, Tim?
It undeniably felt like a fever dream where I woke up this morning and I had to pull it up on YouTube to make sure that not only did it exist, not only was Jerry O'Connell actually on the Kinda Funny podcast, but he was actually in a public park and he was actually as insane as he was. There's an infectious energy. So many questions were answered on yesterday's podcast that I was afraid to ask. But I'm happy that it's real. I'm happy it exists. And I'm happy that people can go to youtube.com/kindafunny to watch it right now.
It is our finest work, and I was happy to see other people tweeting what I was thinking, that if you've never listened to a Kinda Funny podcast before, or even if you're lapsed in whatever, you haven't picked up one, this is a perfect jumping on point of just, I think it's like we've never, and this isn't even trying to sell you on the Patreon version, but we've never had a post show where we say goodbye to the guests and we sit there and we like literally catch our breath. Like, it was just like we just got off of a train. We just what the hell just happened? What just went through? I mean, the fact that he opens with the story of Rebecca Romaine throwing his Xbox into the front yard, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's it.
Of course, while you're over on youtube.com/kindafunny, why don't you check out our CVS crank call? Me, Andy, and Nick got together one more time to do another little goofy video that's only available on youtube.com/kindafunny.
Big fan of that one.
Yeah, did you like that one?
Oh, yeah. Thumbnail jokes. Very funny.
Always funny. Thank you to our Patreon producers at Nanobiologist, a.k.a. Mick, Tom Bock, Trent, Berrie, and Blackjack. Today, we're brought to you by Honey and Fixture Gaming, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. We got 5 items on the Roper Report.
Baker's dozen.
Number 1, Tim Geddes. Is a Hideo Kojima, a.k.a. Kojima Productions, an Xbox deal incoming?
Dude, I am so happy that I'm on this episode with you. This just looked, every once in a while, I see news pop in and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous I'm not going to be on that episode. This episode, I get to be with Greg to talk about this? Hell yeah.
Kevin, let's start with this Xbox Kojima story at a very unlikely place. We'll start on the PlayStation YouTube channel. Can you please play the video I have linked you here as I read this story from Jordan Oleman at IGN.com. The game director of the PlayStation 5 exclusive, Abandon, has responded to rumors about the game being a secret Hideo Kojima project.
Do you want audio or not?
No. And teased that it will receive a demo and a potential closed alpha test. Released earlier this week, Abandon revealed, I'm sorry, earlier this week in the video you're watching right now, if you're watching the YouTube version of Kind of Funny Games Daily. Abandon is a cinematic, first-person horror survival shooter with realistic visuals pegged to launch in Q4 2021. Developer Blue Box Game Studios has a quiet social media presence, a fairly unknown history, and released a PT-esque trailer, all of which led some fans to believe that it was actually a front for a new Kojima Productions project. The studio quickly issued an official response to the rumors on the company website. Quote, "We have no association with Hideo Kojima, nor do we claim to have any association, nor was it our intention to claim such a statement. We are a small group of developers working on a passionate title we wanted to work on for a long time," end quote. In an interview with IGN, Blue Box Game Studios director Hassan Karaman spoke in more detail about the rumors. Quote, "It wasn't fun, but it did make me laugh." There's more here, obviously. I'm taking from Jordan's article, but pulling out the parts we need for our story here. Many took the unknown nature of Blue Box to mean something similar was happening now, because, of course, they just ran through the fact that Blue Box doesn't have a real social media presence, yada, yada, yada. Back to here. Hassan assured us that isn't it, and that this isn't the way they'd hope to announce a new game. Quote, It did bother me a bit as we as a team are so excited to tease a bit of our game, and then this conspiracy comes." He continued, "All I wanted to do is tease our game. Regarding our social media presence, we're a small team and not a big AAA studio. It's already hard work to work on a highly polished game for PlayStation 5, so we really can't spare the time to work on our social media presence full time, parentheses, while it is important," end quote. Of course, this is a written interview that they did here. So there's a couple different things happening.
Yeah.
The jump off point for this, Tim, is like, oh my God, I feel so bad for this Abandoned game. Where Blessing slapped the Abandoned trailer and the PlayStation blog post into KFGD yesterday. And I was like, oh, new PlayStation thing. Oh, horror survival shooter. Went and looked at it and I was like, oh, this could be all right, but this is a very boring ass trailer. I got excited, PlayStation exclusive, this was happening. You look at it like, oh, okay, I don't know what this game's gonna be all about. But then to see that, yeah, this small team had this story run away from them, the narrative run away from them, and then their big moment of like, hey, we're working on this great PlayStation 5 exclusive is then sullied by like, no, it's not a Kojima, it's just us doing this. Oh, God.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, this is rough from a lot of different angles. Like, I feel like the more even said about it, it just kind of makes it like, oh, less is more sometimes when it comes to putting out statements about how you feel about the whole thing. And like, I get this sucks for them, but yeah, even like watching the trailer, it's like, I'm definitely interested in this type of next gen survival horror game, or not even survival horror, just whatever this looks like looks cool. This trailer doesn't seem like it was ready to be put out. Doesn't seem like there's enough exciting information around it for it to be super relevant to the times right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely not for a second surprised that people thought that this was a Kojima project. This has Kojima written all over it with how weird and cryptic it is of it feeling like, why are they putting this teaser out now when it looks like this? That's some Kojima shit. Like, oh, Blue Box, all these like stuff that we don't know about. It's like, yeah, remember the Bandage Man?
And that's what it is. Of course, if you, I cut out a lot of stuff from Jordan's excellent reporting just for time. But if you don't remember, obviously, yeah, there was the whole thing of Moby Dick Productions, right, when they were leading into Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and all these different things and rumors and the Bandage guy. And then it was a Kojima. They, anagram, right, Kevin? Is that it? When they mixed up the letters to make a new word?
That's it. You nailed it.
Anagram, his name was Kojima or whatever. And so, like, that was the thing of everybody's like, same thing here. They've only put out one game on Steam Early Access, and they don't update it anymore. And they're just like, no, we're just a small studio trying to do this. Like, we swear we're not doing this whole thing.
But, I mean, at some point, like, that has to be on somebody, though. Like, whether it's that team or PlayStation themselves, because, like, they had to have known that the comparisons are going to be there, especially not even talking about just the Phantom Pain stuff, but moving on to PT, the next project, right?
Yeah.
And like all the rumors and all the conversation and talk around Kojima's next project, and will it be a
Kevin, you okay? Was that your death rattle?
No, sorry, I was just yawning and like.
And he just passes away.
Well,
That's
because
how
the
we
gate
find
only
out.
let so much of it through. My bad, guys. I didn't mean to mess up your
It's
flow.
okay. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Excellent chat
Personally,
from
I
Kevin.
feel like it's kind of a misstep that someone along the line should have like pointed out and been like, hey, this is something that's going to come up, because inevitably it is going to, and it did come up. I think that mistakes are mistakes, and I don't think that we need to point fingers and blame anybody for this, but I'm not surprised that this happened at all. And Kojima being involved or not being involved, I I mean, if he was involved, I'd be more excited for this. But this doesn't lessen my excitement for what this game potentially could be.
I understand, especially being a small studio. And again, like I've talked about this before, trying to take my own life and work into it, right? Of like, I get putting out something and being proud of it. I luckily get to do that multiple times a day, right? So if something doesn't go right with one of our things, or a video doesn't hit the right way, or a podcast isn't as good as I want it to be, it's not the end of the world because I get to do it again tomorrow. Whereas for game developers, you work on something for years, you finally get your moment. We're on the PlayStation blog. You want to celebrate that and feel what that like, and then to see it run away. The thing about this for the abandoned team, what I would tell them is, I get how you're feeling right now. In 2 months, in whatever it's going to be, like when you get a little bit of distance, you're going to see this was the best thing that could have happened for your game.
100%.
We would not be talking about Abandoned right now.
Not this much.
Kind of Funny Games Daily. It may be when you get a release date, you get put into the release dates. But
totally.
Based on what happened yesterday on the PlayStation blog alone, I wouldn't be talking about this here. This is, any publicity is good publicity. And being in this conversation and being compared to PT, you're already on a whole bunch of lists now in people's mind share that you weren't before. And again, not maybe the way you wanted to. You wanted people to look at the PlayStation blog and be like, this game looks awesome, I'm in. And you had those comments, but now you have way more people who are like, oh, is it this thing? It's not, but it still looks like it's in that vein, which is cool.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the marketing arm of games is one of the most important parts of them, because that's how they get sold. That's how people understand what the game is and if they want to play it or not. And them getting this type of conversation around them, again, it's not at all about the quality of the game. Like, people thinking it's a Kojima game, that's a good thing. So yeah, like, this definitely, like, I don't think there's any negative side to this for them, besides the fact that they're like, oh no, hey, this isn't what you think it is. But you're right. I think that will be over with in a couple of months.
Now, you might be saying, Greg, wait a second. You talked about a whole Kojima Xbox deal at the front. That's what you titled this. That's why I clicked on the thumbnail. Where's that news? For that news, we take the same story and we click over to Games Beat, where the one and only Jeffy Grubb Grubb filed a very similar report talking about like all these things, and this is the response and yada, yada, yada. But then he tosses this in here. But the biggest piece of evidence I have that Abandoned is not a Kojima joint is that Kojima is in talks with Microsoft about publishing his next game, according to a source familiar with the matter. And yes, that statue on Phil Spencer's shelf was referencing a potential deal with the legendary developer. I cannot confirm if Xbox closed the deal yet, but my understanding is that Kojima is the focus of a Microsoft plan to leverage Japanese talent. Megaton.
Jesus. I mean, can you imagine? That would be huge. And honestly, I'd fucking love it. I would want a Kojima game anywhere. Like, I think that him being funded correctly and his team being funded to just do the project, whatever that project ends up being, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, like, that's awesome. Like, I would love it, especially because Xbox needs these wins. They need these games to sell this amazing ecosystem that they have, and to finally silence the criticism that we've had for so long of where's the games, where's the games. If we start seeing these games, that'd be huge, especially a game as big as a Kojima game.
100%, right? And I think you nail it, of what we've talked about over and over again, and what you're seeing from Xbox and Phil Spencer in this generation. You know what I mean? And it is this, we are building up a reason for you to buy an Xbox and play a bunch of awesome exclusive games here. And obviously the most telling example of that recently has been the Bethesda or ZeniMax acquisition that includes all Bethesda studios and everything there. But beyond that, it is them, continue to buy up different studios, support different studios, have them working on exclusives. And yes, I'm of course privileged to have both consoles and love gaming anywhere I can game. So yeah, I'm right there with you I want anybody who can get a Kojima game to get a Kojima game. I want Kojima's, whatever Hideo is working on, to be funded and be out there and have an audience for it. And I do really love the idea of it going to Xbox and giving that ecosystem a reason to, and not even a reason, for many of them, an introduction to Kojima and what it is. And, giving people a reason to take a second look, as you just talked about, at the services Xbox provides, whether it be Game Pass, whether it be the tiered systems of what you can play it on, and whether it's going to be on Game Pass and it'll be in the cloud so you can just stream it to your phone or whatever it'll be by the time it comes out. Like, yeah, that is all awesome. That is what Xbox needs. Xbox needs reasons that you go and play Xbox.
Exactly. I want to. So many people out there want to. So I think a Kojima game is one of the unicorns of gaming. Like, that is one of the big pillar tentpole games that, even if we don't even have a game, we don't even know the franchise, we don't even have anything, it doesn't matter. A Kojima game is a big deal. And he's probably the only director of that level that, like, we look at and speak of that way, where it's like, we don't think of, a Miyamoto game. we think of, okay, there's going to be the next Mario or the next Mario Kart or the next, Mario Kart's not Miyamoto, but you get what I'm saying here.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
The next
you're
Star
talking
Fox,
about
the next
franchises versus auteurs.
Exactly. And it's just like there is the auteur factor of Kojima that is a rarity in video games, and there is a panache to it all and a level of quality expectation that even if it's not for you, Death Stranding, not for me, that doesn't mean I'm less excited for his next game.
Yeah.
Like there's still an undeniable quality to the experiences and a uniqueness to the experiences. And I think that Xbox would super benefit from that. And I think that that'd be very, very exciting for the industry. And I want to see more next-gen games. And I like exclusive games because it allows them to be built from the ground up. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. That's my opinion. I enjoy that as a gamer. That's the type of gamer I am. I think that exclusives on specifically PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo as well are given a different type of love and care to fit into the ecosystem of that platform itself. And that's what Xbox needs because it has all the ecosystem and it just needs these big shining stars. And with the Bethesda stuff and with everything they've been building with Hellblade 2 and all that, we could have a golden age of Xbox coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's your point of what exclusives do right. Like, I love the idea that if with Kojima, and you hope other people down the road here are big names, because you want to talk about it, who else can do something like this? Well, you think about a Todd Howard, you think about a Neil Druckmann, right? But like, well, Todd's at Bethesda, and you know what I mean? Like that's locked in, and then Neil's at Sony, that's locked in kind of thing. Kojima being a free agent, I think, opens up this new idea, and new success story, and new path for other developers who have that and can break out and can go and can sit there and get into a bidding war between Sony and Sony and Microsoft.
Absolutely. They got the money.
And then, yeah, you can go and do one hit for another, which gets the other side even hungrier to give you more money to make a bigger game, to expand your team, to work on whatever it is that your next dream project is. Like, that's awesome. And I love to see that you see these publishers getting out there and funding those ideas, right? And like, you think about like Kojima in particular, right? And you think about him at Konami, and you think about all the stories you've heard, whether it be from Jason Schreier or somewhere else, of him running into roadblock after roadblock trying to get his vision out. And so the fact that he's unmoored now, right? He's a free agent. He can go play wherever he wants to play. That means that I'm assuming he's signing these contracts, and they are like, cool, just make the game on time. Just get it to the, you know what I mean? Whatever you want it to be, fine, but get it to here. And that's awesome, and that's powerful, and that's good for the industry, because I do want to see weird games. I do want to see visions of games. You know, I mean, we talk about, and, you know, to sometimes a detriment, but as an industry, we talk about games compared to movies all the time. And I think that's a whole different can of worms I'm not getting into, but I love the idea of how film can have a crazy objective from film to film in terms of what it's trying to accomplish, what kind of market it's trying to reach, all these different things. And I think obviously we have that in video games, but we don't have it to the breadth and scale that movies do, the industry does, in terms of what you could put out and what the objective is. And the person who's funding it understands that necessarily. And the bigger companies getting more and more involved with weirder and weirder ideas in game, I think game directors get that way.
Totally. And I mean, you know, and it's, you bring up movies, and so much of that is a newer thing. Like for so long, movies didn't have options of objectives because it was essentially either for theater distribution or the home market, and that was kind of it. But then with the advent of streaming and Netflix and all that, it's like that totally changed. We're seeing that in video games. Video games have always been so young compared to the other industries, but have grown so much faster in you know, when you compare them. And we, you know, video games only been around, 40 years, whatever that is. And it's like, we are now maturing so much quicker, hitting this point where with Game Pass, funding games, allowing more people to play than ever for cheaper than ever, still getting that quality experience. All of this in a perfect world, obviously. This has to still be a good game. That's the assumption I'm making going into this. But yeah, you talking about Hideo's company being independent, like that's so shocking to me. Like, I know that Sony's in a very different place than Microsoft. Microsoft has the money to just throw around and acquire. And some of those things can mess up, and they don't really care because they have so much money, and there's just systems in place to keep making them money. Sony has that to a way lesser extent, right? I'm shocked that Sony hasn't acquired Kojima Productions. And there has to be reasons for that. And what are the reasons? Is it purely financial, or does Kojima not want that?
I think Kojima doesn't want that. I think 100%. I think he knows what it's like to have the best of intentions with a publisher and a boss, and then have it all go to hell and slowly lose control. And I think he's still too close to that. And again, even if you were to look at cool, Kojima, it's us, it's PlayStation. We want to be a part of that. Think what that conversation would have looked like when he founded Kojima Productions. It would have been Andrew House having that conversation with him, right? Andrew House nowhere to be seen anymore. Like that's the thing is like company heads come and go. So if you're not leading your own charge, right? Like it's it's again similar to what we always talk about. How many times have me and Nick sat around and talked about Kind of Funny and being like, I don't know if I could ever have a boss again. Like, I don't even know what I mean. Like, we get to chart our own course and do it. And it comes with a lot of risk and a lot of stress and a whole bunch of other stuff that, again, you look at somebody like Tim Schafer and Double Fine, who do basically 20 years independent, right? And then sell to Microsoft. Like, there's definitely a point where you're like, you know what? We've done the independent thing. We've done our own thing. I'm down to go and have somebody else worry about payroll and worry about HR. And we can just get back to making games.
Totally. I love it. And I think that it is the best place for Kojima games to be is independent right now in 2021, where we're at with where PlayStation 5 and the Xbox ecosystem is at. And the idea of Xbox funding a Kojima game is so exciting to me. And it's outside of the realm of what I thought was actually possible. And granted, all this right now, still kind of in that rumor phase, still kind of, we'll see where this actually goes. How many rumors do we hear about Kojima, Silent Hill, PlayStation exclusive, blah, blah, blah. That's been years of talking about that. So all of a sudden this coming up, it's like, what's really happening? I feel like we won't have to wait too long.
Tim, I have breaking news from the chat for you. The one and only Jeffy Grubb Grubb, Jeff Grubb from GamesBeat, who wrote this part here and broke this news, puts in our chat, I'm in e-learning with kiddo, but tidbit for you all, deal is with the lawyers at the moment. So everybody can run to Reset Era and say that they heard from Jeff Grubb on Kind of Funny Games Daily. That's where we're at right now. The deal is with the lawyers at the moment. So you won't have to wait too long on that. I know Xbox definitely getting ready for that E3 showcase, whatever they're doing there. Let's see what happens.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a Kojima announcement? Kojima coming out, Keanu Reeves style. Or I guess Kojima style, like he did at the Sony conference a couple of years before. Which is just awesome. I love it, man. I love the competition between them, and I think it is so valuable to the industry. It's like we all just love video games, and I love when people are putting their best foot forward of just like, yeah, we got this fucking banger to compete with your fucking bangers. We need more bangers in here, man.
Agreed, Timothy. Where are we at? 10:30. You want a question that's a little bit more like nebulous, or you want to get back to the news? Because we got lots of news. We should probably keep going with the news. What do you?
I want to know the question, though. I want to know the question.
Rhys writes into patreon.com/kindafunnygames and says, hey, Kinda Funny, are people overly worried about Sony? With recent news being very positive towards Xbox, Bethesda acquisition, MLB The Show going to Game Pass, and the recent Kojima rumors, people seem to be worrying about Sony and saying they need to do something big to strike back. But from where I'm standing, Sony looks just as strong as they have in recent years, with God of War, Horizon sequels in the next year or so, and The Last of Us multiplayer, as well as sequels to Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima further down the line, plus new IP from Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, and who knows what else unannounced. I feel like Sony are going to be delivering hopefully great games over the next few years. So, should they really worry about Xbox or keep doing what they're doing? Sorry for waffling a bit. Rhys. Timothy? Robert Geddes the first. What do you think?
I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about how competition is good and like I want to see the bangers back and forth. But I do think there's another side to it where it's like not everything needs a call and response. It's like Xbox is building what they're building right now because they don't have the games. They haven't had the games. That is just a fact when you compare them to Sony. Sony has had the games. Doesn't have the ecosystem, doesn't have a lot of things. We've talked a lot about that. Sony still has the games. We still know these games are coming. We can think of all the different franchises and just add a 2 or a 3 or a subtitle, and we know that they're happening. Even if we don't officially know they're coming right now, we know we're going to get a Spider-Man sequel, right? And we know we're going to get it soon enough, the next 3 years, right?
So it's like fucking Norman Osborn. We're gonna find out.
Totally, right? And it's just like, okay, Ragnarok might get delayed. Probably will be
definitely
delayed. But it is happening. We know the next God of War is happening. We know the sequel to one of the best reviewed video games of all time is happening, right? Plus Horizon, plus all the IP, keep going. In addition to, we know there's new projects coming. We know there are new exclusive PlayStation games coming. The Project Athia, which got renamed, right? That's exclusive to PlayStation?
Yeah.
That's
the one that Gary worked on or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I forget the new name of it, but yeah.
Ton of exclusive PlayStation games coming. So it's just like, yeah, we already know that. So it's like them needing to say something big to strike back. It's just kind of like
Forspoken.
Forspoken. Yeah.
You could have put me in a room for 500 years. I would have never come up with any Forspoken. No offense, Gary.
I think it looks super rad. I'm very stoked on that game. And it's just like there's so many other things as well. And there's always the things we don't know that are going to be saved for E3 announcements, state of plays, or whatever. But the Xbox side, they're kicking ass with all these the different programs they have and the enhanced for X, which has turned into just the patches on Series X with all the boosted frame rates and all that stuff. All this shit's great. You still need the games. The games are coming with the Bethesda deals. The games are coming with all this. This is just the best case scenario for everyone.
The thing about it, I think, Rhys, your question of like, should people worry or yada yada yada? I think the question was put not this is bad by you. You're talking about people's reactions. A more succinct way is what happened on PS I Love You this week. After we talked about Ratchet and Clank, we talked about the show. A reader wrote in, and their question was, when's PlayStation going to get their own big W? And I think that's a better lens to look at all this through. Where it's like everything you just laid out, right, Rhys? Bethesda acquisition, show going to Game Pass, Hideo Kojima probably being real, as we talk about Jeff Grubb over here with his confirmations and lawyers and things, right? We can sit here then and turn to PlayStation to talk about Horizon Forbidden West, the Spider-Man 2 eventually, Ragnarok, you know what I mean? Returnal, if you want to throw that out there. The thing is that it's very much the Joker Dark Knight thing, right? Where that nobody bats an eye when it all goes according to the plan. That's the plan for PlayStation. We've known that for years, let alone coming off the PlayStation 4 generation, which was banger after banger after banger after banger from the first party, exclusive. To suddenly see Xbox coming out here, and Xbox so far, right, I would say the last generation into this generation, all going according to plan for them is Game Pass is amazing. We're doing this cool thing that's pro gamer, right? But then to get here now and have them get hungry and fight where it is, guess what? We have Bethesda. We have all their studios. Guess what? The show is coming here and it's on Game Pass. Guess what? We're trying to get Kojima over here. These seem like haymakers, which is why it's getting people spun more up. And the worry about PlayStation and whatever is the same worry the same conversation about concern that I would have been I was talking about last generation, which is just like Xbox is building this foundation of amazing services, and what happens when they start fucking firing on all cylinders for games? And you see them right now loading the clip. Every one of these acquisitions is a bullet in the chamber, right? That they're getting ready to eventually pull the trigger and fire on. And so if it is suddenly that when Phil does come out and he's like, cool, here's how it looks. Starfield is exclusive. It comes next year, and that kicks, or I guess Halo Infinite kicks it off, and we have just first party after first party Xbox Studio giving out exclusives that are coming to Game Pass, that are part of Game Pass. So you just buy the fucking machine and pay $15 a month, and you have awesome fucking games. That's when you get into it. And so the whole thing of, should we, are we overly worried about Sony? It's not worry, I don't feel. And speaking as somebody who covers PlayStation, it's more the concern of, I feel like they are it's like a giant game of mousetrap. And Xbox is setting up all the things. And once they click the ball and it starts rolling and the net drops and the shoe kicks and the egg, it'll be too late for PlayStation to respond. But do they need to if they're still just doing the same thing they've always done?
That's my thing. I mean, what you just said, I think you really nailed everything. And
I like the mousetrap analogy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It just reminds me of really what this all means, and it is the expectation of press conferences. Let's just use an E3 press conference, Microsoft versus Sony. What are the expectations going into those conferences, and the expectations of what is even possible to be there? What are when we do our predictions every year, those predictions come from somewhere, and sometimes we joke and come up with outlandish crazy stuff, but the majority of them are kind of based on what they've done in the past, based on what we know teams are doing and X, Y, and Z. And for so many years, PlayStation has been extremely exciting because the proof has been in the pudding, and they have these titles that they put out. There's an expectation of quality so that we know, and we're just at a point that we just expect that from them.
Yep.
So when they don't bring that stuff, then it's a letdown because we expect them to have all this crazy library of first-party titles. Xbox has been different, where if they have something cool, it's a surprise that's nice, right?
Yeah.
And now what you're talking about is, once this mousetrap things, there's expectations for Xbox press conferences. And the big question I have is Is that yet, or are we still doing the thing where we're kicking it down the line? Are we still going to be like, well, next year's Microsoft
the next
E3?
press conference?
Because right now, they're acquiring and like they just got the team, so they haven't done anything yet. It's like at some point, it's like we need to start seeing these games coming out.
You're saying the thing, and I'll say it right here is that the E3 press conference for Xbox will be the one. This will be the one where it is.
This will be the one.
The
this
shoe
will be
drops,
the one.
and it's Halo, and it's Starfield, and it's this, and yeah.
I bet you we can find a clip of one of the two of us saying that every year for the last like 6 years. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But I'm with you, Greg. I do think that more so than ever, this is going to be the one. And that's awesome.
We'll have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2 on the Roper Report. Sad news, but understandable, and it's cool. Whatever. Take the time you need. Deathloop has been delayed. Today, Arcane put up a video and this statement. We've made the decision to delay the launch of Deathloop to September 14th, 2021. We are committed to quality and preserving our team's ambitions for Deathloop while ensuring the health and safety of everyone at Arcane. We'll be using this extra time to accomplish our goal, create a fun, stylish, and mind-bending player experience. We apologize for the extended wait and thank you all for your passion and excitement. It is the fuel that powers our creativity and our hard work. We can't wait to show you more Deathloop soon. For a little bit of context, I want to hop over to gamesindustry.biz, where Brendan Sinclair wrote about that and then added this in. Deathloop had originally been slated for release in 2020, but was delayed last August, with Arcane attributing the slide to difficulty adjusting to working from home in the pandemic. As the COVID-19 pandemic enters its second year, 2021 has seen a spate of high-profile game delays. In addition to Deathloop, this year alone has already seen delays for Riders Republic, New World, Gran Turismo 7, The Analog Pocket, The Next Need for Speed, The Prince of Persia remake, Kerbal Space Program 2, Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Outriders, and Warner Bros. Interactive's entire announced 2021 slate, Hogwarts Legacy, Gotham Knights, Back 4 Blood, and Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Tim, when you lay it out like that, holy shit.
I've been saying this a lot in the show, and usually it's been with Bless, but like, shout out to Resident Evil Village. If this fucking game actually comes out, I'm going to be shocked. But I believe it. I believe it at this point. Like, Capcom have been delivering hits, and Monster Hunter Rise, mega hit with the fans for it, like continuing that positivity streak. And I think we're actually going to get a AAA video game coming out in 2021. That's exciting. And then I also believe June 11th, we're going to get, or June 10th, whatever, 11th, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, which is extremely exciting. All of this, unfortunate. It's the world we live in right now, and this sucks. I'm very excited for Deathloop. I hope they don't overdo the trailers. That's the one thing all these delays just stretch out that hype cycle, just that one little bit extra that I'm like, like, we're going to get tired of this if we aren't already, That's the problem with these delays. But we all need to understand it. We're in this together. And we got to get used to seeing these little Twitter images because they're going to continue to happen. But hopefully we're kind of hitting the end of it. Hopefully this is this series of games.
I don't think you are, man. I don't think we're out of the woods.
But I mean, here's the thing. There's so few games with release dates to push back at this point.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying. It's like,
Corey, just get off your high horse and say God of War Ragnarok's delayed. What are you waiting for? We know it's not coming this year. We knew it was never coming this year. Get out of here, Corey Barlog. You know what I mean?
But I mean, even then,
rascal.
Sure, that's a year, and like it's probably going to get pushed to 2022. But like, I feel like we could probably count on one hand, if even, games with release dates this year that haven't already been delayed of any type of consequence.
It's just interesting to see this play out because I remember last year when we all moved to the work from home setups, it was that thing of like, oh my God, are we going to see a lot of delays? And we saw some, obviously, things like Last of Us and Ghost, which were attributed at least in some part to supply chain and actually the economics of moving games out. But it seemed like we got out relatively unscathed, right? But there was that conversation of really it's going to be next year. Really it's going to be 2021 where you'll see it. And you see Brendan Sinclair's laundry list here, and I think it's so important to take that in. I also like this. Mike Futter, industry man about town, author of a million different books and articles and has worked just about everywhere, tweeted this today. COVID has caused a wave of project delays, not because of working from home, but because of working under quarantine. Those are different things, and it's important we don't conflate the two. It's a good point, I think, of like the way this conversation gets lumped together, where it is the idea that it's not working from home that's doing it. It is working from home during a quarantine, and it is the forced nature of all this. And it was the light switch. Or we'll do it for 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's going on. Like you look at all these different, let alone indies that I think are on a different ball game that have been using a work from home spread out across the entire globe for so much longer than you see big AAA things like you'd think in Arcane that have to do it from a different way. But Jordan Lee Rowan writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, is 2021 doomed to be the year of the backlog?
I mean, if it is, then shout out to Xbox, right? They've been preparing for this with all the backwards compatibility and all the best way to play old games is on Xbox. It's on Game Pass. It's on all these different places, whether you're PC or Xbox. Microsoft's owning that. That's awesome. I don't think that's a bad thing. There's so many great games coming out. And, the worst part about it is we have some of us have shiny new consoles and there's not many new shiny new things to play on them. But there's not nothing. There are games coming out. There are cool, like things like Outriders. Like, I think because of all this stuff, have a better chance at really kind of turning into something special for a community.
Like that's the thing is 2020 doomed to be the year of the backlog. I don't like that because it makes it sound like your backlog sucks. I've actually enjoyed playing old things with Blessing on PS I Love You, catching up on different things, getting around.
Old games are old, Greg.
I know my jokes.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Ass. You know what I mean? But it is that idea of even being able to jump around and put more time into games that I wouldn't be able to, I think, normally do. Where if I had that, oh my God, I finished reviewing Outriders. I need to move on to the next thing. So I don't like that, but I do like what you're talking about, which I think, and I mentioned this on the Gamescast. Sorry, I'm glad to see you've recovered from getting bit in the eye by both snakes stepping on the rock. It was both eyes.
Shit,
and then Cool Guy dropped a box of knives on you too. But it's, one of the things we talked about there for Outriders was that I think Outriders is the new Dying Light. Where remember when Dying Light dropped in that first half of the year, we were like, oh my God, what a great thing. And it's showing that, those kind of games, early year games are going to be profitable in a way people didn't think, because before that, there really weren't people putting games out in January, February, or March, right? And now you look at Outriders, right? And granted, it has the Game Pass hype as well, but it is a game that everybody's into, and most people are into it saying, yeah, it's a really fun game. Story sucks, and I'll probably be done in 2 weeks with it. But I'm really enjoying it right now. And it's like, you have a chance, I think, Jordan, to see more of that, especially when you look at something like Returnal right now from Housemarque, a company I adore and trust. And it's one of those that I've looked at it, and every time I look at Returnal, I'm like, I think it's got the arcade gameplay, but I don't, I think it's going to be, what do you have to lose? You're going to if Returnal is an 8, people are going to jump in and be like, holy shit, this is great, something new to play, and it'll be the talk of the town for a while. Like, I think you have the chance for those success stories because there's more oxygen right now.
But even with that, it's interesting you bring up the early spring, that January, February, March thing. It's April. Like, we are further in the year than it feels like. Like, it still does, and I think it's because of game releases and even just game news and everything has felt so light. But we are so close to May, which means we're so close to June. And when you start adding game release dates, E3, but even before that, like, there are game releases of consequence. We are getting Ratchet. We are getting Mass Effect. We are getting Resident Evil. We're getting Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. Like all this stuff. There are games coming out that are exciting, and the ones I just named, I don't think are going to get delayed. So there is stuff there to be played. And the bigger question for me is, what does the summer and fall start looking like? Like, are we going to all these delays of the games that we talked about that are kind of pushed into the second half of the year? Is that the end of the delays, or are there going to be more delays that bring it into the following year?
Yeah.
And still, what the hell's Nintendo doing? We'll have to see.
CD3 apparently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I can't wait to see, Tim. It's people go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where of course they can support the show. They can write into the show. They can get the show with the exclusive post show. But most important for right now, you could go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and get the show ad-free, but you're not there. So let me tell you about our sponsors. We'll start with Honey. We all shop online, and we've all seen the promo code field taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free online shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. They range from sites that have tech giants and gaming products to popular fashion brands, even food delivery. Imagine you're shopping on your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as click the Honey button. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches the coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. Let me read this. Kind of funny, loves honey. Tim Geddes himself has been used. Why is Tim in this ad? I talk about honey every time. I tell you it's right here and I tap my screen. I go, there it is. Honey, I see it right there. What's trending right now? Booking.com, Marriott, eBay, Sam's Club. I have what? I have a honey gold balance of 789 honey coins. When I get to a certain threshold, I get to go return those and I get an Amazon gift card. That's how I spend it. That's what I do with it. Honey is perfect. It's a great thing and it installs in any browser. You should be using it. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. We never recommend something we don't use, and Tim and I both use Honey. Right, Tim?
Honey, honey, honey. Click the honey button.
I don't think that's their catchphase. Get Honey.
I
for
love
free.
Honey. I've saved thousands of dollars using Honey over the years. It is seriously one of the best things. I can't believe people don't have it installed.
There's no downside to it. Honestly, just do it. You don't even have to, if you don't want the honey coins, which would be stupid because you get free, whatever. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/games. That's joinhoney.com/games. And our next sponsor is Fixture Gaming. We wanted to talk about a special kind of funny best friend today. Have you ever used your Nintendo Switch for a long, long time and afterwards your wrists and shoulders were sore? Turns out the Nintendo Switch isn't the most ergonomic. Sometimes you just want to use a Pro controller and still play on the go. Our friend Austin Stark had an idea to fix that. The Fixture S1. We met Austin a while back at the San Francisco meet and greet when you could still do those kind of things. And he showed us the Fixture S1, known as the Switch Fix at the time. And we were blown away by how comfortable and sturdy it was. Since then, we use the Fixture S1 pretty regularly. You just slide in your Nintendo Switch and attach your Pro controller, and you can take your Switch and Pro controller with you anywhere. Again, this is something when Austin gave me mine at the meet and greet in San Francisco, I immediately started talking about it on the Gamescast. And if you see me traveling, I'm always with it. That's the one I have, and I guess when you could travel. But it's the one you click on, and you're right there, and it's right. I literally plane rides fly by because I'm able to sit there and use the real controller and go.
Now, here's the thing, though, Greg. Is like I'm right there with you. I love this thing. I'm the exact same way, and I've always thought about it as my plane ride thing. But I haven't been on a plane for over a year. Totally. I've been using the hell out of it, just even in my bed, playing Hades. It's been my Hades go-to. Just have my Pro controller, have the Switch. I love how adjustable it is, so I can put to get the balance right. A lot of these things, the balance is off of like how heavy the Switch itself is, but you can put it over on top of it, and it's just great. Having a good time. Highly recommend it.
You can also use it as a stand for the Switch. This Fixture S1 comes in two colors, gray and red/blue. It has completely changed the way we play our Nintendo Switches, and we're thrilled to announce that this Fixture S1 is on sale this week for 20% off on the Fixture Gaming website. If you want to check it out, please go to www.fixturegaming.com. Thanks again to Austin and the Fixture Gaming team for sponsoring this episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. Back to the show. Number 3 on the Roper Report, Outriders is giving out a free legendary and a bunch of different fixes and also some nerfs. We go to Paul Tassi over at Forbes. Outriders has just released a grand overview of its first major patch due out sometime next week, though they did not give a specific date for it. There are 3 main parts to it. Fixes for endless crashes and connection issues, rewards for players dealing with those issues, and a surprising amount of nerfs for a game barely a week old. Here are the patch notes, and I'm obviously going to paraphrase. You can go read Paul's extensive report over at Forbes. If you are like me and you like these games as a service, you should be following Paul Tassi on Twitter. He has a whole bunch of stuff. He has a newsletter where he sends out all the updates every day of what's been going on. It's great stuff. We're going to start, though, with crashes, connectivity, and inventory wipes. People Can Fly believes that they will be able to fix most of the major crashes happening across all platforms of the game in next week's patch. The one that is most pressing for me, this is Paul, the inventory crash on Xbox in the Expedition Camp is not listed, but hopefully it is going to be fixed all the same. There will be improvements to matchmaking and connectivity in time, and they've already seen improvements since the rockiest first 48 hours. Those who had a bug where their inventory was wiped should be able to get it restored, though not their blue items, and the stats on the gear they had may change. It will not replace the current inventory, only add to it. Then free stuff. Because things have gone a bit badly during launch here with all the technical issues, anyone who's played during the time period launched through April 11th will be eligible for a free in-game package that will include a level-appropriate legendary weapon, a level-appropriate amount of titanium, the emote Frustration. It's not clear if the timing of this will coincide with next week's patch or if it could be sooner or later. Then they talk about nerfs. People Can Fly has already started swinging the nerf hammer, as they did a bit during the demo, and a lot of popular builds and classes are being hit. In short, even in just a week of play, they already believe some builds are overperforming and some new loot sources are too generous. I don't want to read through this entire one. This would be one I'd send you over to Paul, but he talks about the fact that you can no longer, for loot, you can no longer repeat the hunt/collector/assassination quest for legendaries. People were getting too many out of that. And then he has a breakdown of all the different characters that are getting stuff. Trickster, the base cooldown of twisted rounds is increased to 25 seconds. It was 16 before. That fucking sucks. That's what I use. That's my build. I hate it. There's a bunch of other stuff going on here as well. Anyway, this is Paul again. Anyway, that's the roundup. The patch drops next week, so major issues will be fixed then, it seems.
Cool.
Very cool. Right after this on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, we are playing more Outriders, me, Blessing, and Snow Bicycle Michael. I'm having a great time with it. I'm glad to see they're being this responsive to it, and I'm glad they're giving me something for free. I want these legendaries,
Very cool, man. I'm rooting for Outriders. I think it's awesome that it's like as enjoyable as it is.
Totally. And again, People Can Fly, I think, are doing a textbook. This is what every other games as service, even though they're not a games as service, but online game in general should do, where, hey, guess what? They are over communicating everything. Their Twitter feed is so alive with all weekend long while things were getting reset and redone and all this other stuff. They were in there, they were talking, and I saw the reactions to it are what you'd expect and want for the most part of people. Thank you for telling us. That's all. It's what I always talk about. Be transparent, explain what's going on, and then go and do it. Don't leave people hanging for 3 hours not understanding why they can't log in. Go do it. Number 4 on the Roper Report here, we have some Resident Evil event details for you.
What a day.
Brace yourselves for the next Resident Evil showcase, which goes live on April 15th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Once again hosted by Brittany Brombacher, a.k.a. @BlondeNerd, a.k.a. friend of the show from What's Good Games. Watch the teaser below for more info and join the Resident Evil Reverse open beta test while you can. Tim, are you pumped for more Resident Evil on the 15th?
Very, very much so. And I will say that they are not doing themselves any favors in the hype department in terms of overhyping, because when they announced this event before this, they straight up said and a couple surprises, and then they're still doubling down on this surprise conversation. Like, people expect things from surprises, things like remakes of Resident Evil 4, things like that are big deals that aren't just Reverse and things like that. Regardless, I'm excited for Village. I'm excited for whatever it is, if it's a second demo or just more details on this game coming out next month. Cool. Down for the ride no matter what, but very much hoping we see some oh shit stuff.
You say, oh shit stuff. We go to IGN.com, where Joe Scrabbles writes, those surprises could include the promised second demo for Resident Evil Village, which will be multi-platform. MP First reports that files for a new demo have been uploaded to PlayStation Network's backend, calling it a gameplay demo, presumably to differentiate from the previous Maiden demo, which was more of an interactive experience with no combat included. MP First reports that the files are around 10 gigabytes in size and includes Vita remote play controls, it lives, which suggests it can be played on PS4, PS5, or Vita. The Maiden demo was released alongside the last showcase, so it feels likely that Capcom will repeat the trick.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they already even confirmed that there was going to be a second demo coming out.
They did. It's just they never confirmed when. That's what the news would be here.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I remember and this is a kind of funny, you're wrong thing, but I remember last week when they announced this, they did phrase it in a way that was we're going to be giving updates and stuff on Resident Evil Village. We're going to give Reverse stuff and some surprises. And so it's I hope the surprises are not about Village or Reverse. They should be about something else.
Excellent. I don't know. I'm excited. I didn't watch the last one because I'm already in. I don't need to see anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I like to see Britt kill it. Congratulations, Britt. But it's more
love
I don't know.
Back.
Yeah. I didn't play the demo. Everybody said it was great. I'm I don't need to know. I want to play it when I get there.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. Love the world. The atmosphere is fantastic. Very Devil May Cry 1. Gothic.
Number 5 on the Roper Report, Streets of Rage 4 is getting DLC. Kevin, I dropped the trailer in there if you want to click on that and show that. Here's the official tweets that read it all out, though. Streets of Rage 4 DLC Mr. X Nightmare is coming later this year. Includes a new gameplay mode, new moves and weapons, new playable characters, including Estelle Aguirre, new tracks by Telepope.
T-Lopes, dude.
T-Lopes
One of the
music?
dopest music producers of all fucking time. He did the soundtrack for Sonic Mania. Go check out T-Lopes. Certified slaps all the time. That's all he does.
All right. The new patch will also be released alongside the DLC that will give you new character palettes, training and tutorial mode, Mania Plus difficulty mode, and gameplay tweaks. We will share more details on both Mr. X Nightmare and the free patch later. Stay tuned. Are
Very cool.
you excited?
I'm excited about listening to the soundtrack of this for sure.
Okay. Did you not play it?
I didn't play Streets of Rage 4. No.
Gotcha.
These side scroll beat 'em up type games, like I obviously have nostalgia for them, but
Sure.
they're playing them. I get kind of bored of them fairly quickly. I'm excited about the Shredder's Revenge coming out, the Ninja Turtles game, but I do have the worry that it's going to feel very samey over and over and over, just kind of doing the same button mashy type stuff. There's a fun to that. How long does that fun last? I don't know, but not enough to bring me into Streets of Rage, which has never really been my franchise.
Sure. Well, I'm excited for people to play it who are into it. But the problem is later this year is still so far away. Tim, if I want to know what came to the mom and grop shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software requests, each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Wow, Kevin. Okay, fine. Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
Out today, Scarlet Hood and the Wicked Wood is on PC and Mac. What the Dub is on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Mac. We're playing that tomorrow on stream. Come hang out with us and Snow Mike. You seen this one yet, Tim?
Mm-mm.
It's like Jackbox, where they show these they have these clips of movies that are obviously like, license free, and then you write the dialogue, and then they play the dialogue, and you see who's the
Love it.
Potion Party, PS4, Switch, and PC. Before Your Eyes on PC. Cozy Grove, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Mac. A game I am still playing every night right now. That's that one I talked about. That's the Animal Crossing, but you're taking care of ghosts on the island. It's fun. Before Your Eyes on PC. I already said that, but it's here twice. Viking Vengeance on PC. First Class Trouble on PC. Always Sometimes Monsters on Switch. Island on Switch. Sakura in Gameland on Switch. Super Foulest 2 on Switch. Legends of Talia Arcadia on Switch. Delicious Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire on Switch. Don't Give Up, A Cynical Tale on Switch. Pixel Game Maker Series. Osia Berry. Horio Howlin' Slash on Switch. Graviteer on Switch. Astro Aqua Kitty on Switch. Spellbreak Chapter 2 launches today. Classified Stories, The Tome of Myrica is on Switch or Steam today. All players who jump into GTA Online this week can expand their vehicle collection with a sports car simply by heading to Southern San Andreas Super Autos, while also channeling their inner Jock Crankley with his gold, silver, pink, and black suits, all free at login.
Video games.
Season 2 of the Epic Game Store exclusive 3 out of 10 launches for free today. Now available on all platforms is PUBG Update 11.1, which reintroduces Paramo, the popular 3x3 map set in the highlands of South America. The update also marks the start of a new ranked season, introduces new emergency pickup items, and expands the Master Medal system. I already did this one. Borderlands 3 Director's Cut DLC is out today. And then Amazon Luna, starting today, we're enabling a new 720p option, allowing for decreased bandwidth and data usage by streaming at a lower resolution. With this setting, customers that have data cap limitations from their internet service providers can play at a lower resolution without sacrificing gameplay performance.
Very rad.
Nice. We did
cool
that. We did a
options.
stream yesterday. We did a sponsored stream yesterday with Amazon Luna. This obviously is just news, not sponsored. You can check it out. YouTube.com/kindoffunnyplays. You go there. You see me and Mike playing for a while. I put on a clinic in Luminous, if I do say so myself. Kevin,
Love it.
how good
Love
was Luminous
it.
yesterday?
Man,
I can't believe you're not into Luminous. That seems like a puzzle game you didn't. We'll talk about it later.
It did nothing for me. In fact,
I understand.
Music and rhythm is not Kevin's favorite thing.
New dates. As we approach the end of Mayhem season, Respawn Entertainment has announced Apex Legends War Games, a new event featuring never-before-seen playlist modifiers, a new rewards track, and a new set of challenges. Get a first look at the game modes and all the content up for grabs when War Games launches on Tuesday, the 13th of April.
Cool.
That's where I want to call out Death Comes For Us, who put in your wrong missed news. The Apex Legends, you can't fucking try to get me before the show's over with this. All right? I talk about dates when dates come up. That's where it goes. You're banned. Publisher and co-developer. This is the thing I put in, but it was going to be Streets of Rage, but we already did that. Don't worry about it. We got it. We're done. It's done. Whew, got it.
Nailed it. So proud of you, Greg.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself. Tim, let's
Excited.
squad up. This is where our Kind of Funny best friend writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, giving us their name, username, platform of choice, and why they need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you, and everybody plays games together. Today, Elliott needs help on Xbox. Elliott's Xbox username is Relseely66. RELLSELIS66. Sorry. RELLSELI66. I'm currently 13-12 in Destiny 2. Between this and Destiny 1, I have played for over 1,000 hours. I have never completed a raid or a dungeon. Wow. I'm looking for a Kind of Funny best friend Destiny clan that I can join and will allow me to squad up with people on Discord and complete this type of content. I'm not looking to grind for hours and hours, but I do want to experience everything this game has to offer. If you want to grind out, or not grind, but just do dungeons and raids with Elliott on Xbox, hit him up. RELLSELI66. You think that's something Elliott's sick of? You think he gets that a lot, or is he sick of it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was before we were live that we were talking about how people of a certain generation just don't even know the thong song by Cisco.
Yeah,
like,
embarrassing.
His little sister doesn't fucking know the song. That's crazy. And I think that
really.
E.T. might be one of those things.
E.T.
That, like, I would not be shocked if Blessing didn't know the name of the kid in E.T.
We asked people watching live. Wait, you think so?
Kevin,
You want to drag him in here?
you have God powers. Drag his bitch ass in here. Yes.
Hey,
Ladies and
Bless.
gentlemen,
Kidnap.
it's the
Oh.
future class of video games Blessing. Adeoye Junior Blessing, how are you?
I'm doing good. I was mid conversation with Snowbike Mike.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want on the Discord. It's scary and creepy, and
Not
you
all
don't
of
know.
us,
You
man.
terrifying.
Just some of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. It's just letting you know. We have a question for you, all right?
What's
you need to
up?
clear your mind.
Okay.
What is the name of what's the character's name? And I'm looking for the main character in E.T., not the alien, the boy that's always with E.T. What's his name?
Oh man. The main kid, right?
Yeah.
He was the same actor from Home Alone, right? The same.
Kevin, send him back.
Culkin?
Send him
Macaulay
back.
Culkin, is that,
sorry.
that was
No,
the
we
name?
want the character now.
He's
God
gone. He's
bless
gone.
him.
He's gone.
Macaulay
He's gone.
Culkin.
He's gone.
damn
He's
it.
gone now. He's gone.
I love
It's
it.
over.
Hey, to
Can't
be
hurt
fair
us
though,
anymore.
to be fair, Greg,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, and if I'm being honest with myself, if you had asked me what the kid's name is from ET, I don't know that I would have got Elliott.
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think I
even
would
know
have.
he had a
You
name.
you say
Yeah,
the moment you said
yeah.
Elliott, I knew, but it's just like I don't think it was in my mind. That wasn't stored in here.
Here's what I'll say too: is like I only know it from the references of pop culture and stuff. Like I've watched obviously E.T., but E.T. sucks. You know what I mean? Movie's dumb, so don't worry about Elliott.
No, it's not.
Macaulay Culkin being ET's friend is my favorite thing though.
Should have been, you know what I mean? If there's
Yeah.
injustice in this world. We asked people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong to tell us what we screwed up as we screw it up. Nanobiologist writes in for the second time this week and says, hey, Greg, should I email you about this? I shouldn't be a Patreon producer this month. No, your name's on the list and we're not changing it. So for writing into You're Wrong so much and being a great Kind of Funny best friend, you get honorary Patreon producer this month. I don't know how that happened. Just fucking take a victory lap and accept it, all right? You don't have to, all you best friends have to be so honest all the time. I didn't pay you for this. Nah, just fucking take it. Lord of Pwn confirms that Forspoken is a console exclusive coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. Oh my goodness. That's not no. Oh, hold on. Maybe there was something there.
Take it.
You got
The
it.
chat has fucking thoughts about ET. It's hilarious.
Thoughts?
So many people are like, it's not that good. I'm like, okay.
They're just trying to.
I
agree
told
with
you it's not a
Greg.
good movie.
It's
Alien.
a great
you know?
movie. It's just been a lot of better
Alien.
stuff that came out, since. E.T. is crap. Wow.
Wow.
I mean, that's like bold.
That's a bold statement, but you'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily. Like I said, right after this, we are going to be playing some Outriders on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you're not watching live and can't stick around, you can get it later, youtube.com/kindafunnyplays. I want you to know that's a brand new YouTube channel. It would mean a lot if you went and subscribed and liked and shared over there. All the daily archives of the Twitch streams go up. If you're an audio listener and you're just bopping around, getting ready to go about your day or whatever, let me tell you about tomorrow. It'll be me and Blessing hosting Kind of Funny Games Daily to take you out for the week. Right now, though, we got to go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and do our post show. Tim, you got something to say? You're over there giggling as you read the chat.
I just love how many people hate ET. Like, I'm not like an ET stan. Like, I'm not here defending it. I just like I didn't know that it was something that people really don't fuck with.
Here's what I'm going to
There's
put up
just
the
a
poll
lot
on
of-
it. It's this.
A lot of these like
ET
blessed
sucks, right?
kids where they're like, oh, you know what? My like older siblings watched it once, and I saw the alien kind of looked like a wiener, and it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know, that's usually how they get you. Where did polls go? Oh, there. That's too small. Hold on. So I'm saying ET sucks, right? Yes, no. And I'll let it go one day so we can see what happens tomorrow on Kind of Funny Games Daily. For now, we got a post show to do. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. But until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.